From almost heaven, West Virginia. Two teams in the semifinal of TBT 2025, getting awfully close to TBT heaven. In this case, that means a $1 million prize. Eberlein Drive and West Virginia. One of these teams will advance to the championship game of this year's basketball tournament and be on the cusp of $1 million. The bracket has been whittled down to just 4 remaining teams. West Virginia Eberlein Drive will move on to the championship game on Sunday and await the winner of We Are D3 and Aftershocks. And there is still a scenario where West Virginia hosts the championship game on Sunday afternoon. We welcome you inside the Charleston Coliseum. Great to have you with us for Game 1 of our TBT semifinal doubleheader. Mike LaTulip and Chris Foster's on hand for Game 1. These two teams have got a long runway now to get to the semifinal of TBT, but they're facing an opponent that they never really have before tonight.
We're sitting in a semifinal right now where, it's kind of a game of firsts, right? When you look at Eberlein Drive, they have not faced a team with this level of pressure like West Virginia, and West Virginia has not faced a team this complete with this type of offensive power. You got one team that kind of always feels like they're in rhythm, with another team that is the ultimate rhythm disruptors. It should be a blast here in Charleston.
Well, West Virginia basketball fans will recognize the West Virginia alumni team, West Virginia, from their style of play that looks like Press Virginia.
Well, West Virginia head coach Jared West Sr. has said all tournament long, it's about defense and it's about toughness. The disruption in the full court with their pressure and the disruption in the half court in ball screens, they are turning defense into offense at a high level here in this tournament. And if you're Eberlein Drive, you got to value possessions and you got to take care of the rock.
And if you're West Virginia, you got to identify all the shooters on the floor for Eberlein Drive, especially Gabe York.
Well, Gabe York, it's been a how do you want it this tournament. He scores at all 3 levels, does it off the bounce, does it off the catch, and creates so much paranoia for defenses. And if you're West Virginia, you cannot let him get going early. You got to locate Gabe York.
He's not strictly a shooter either. This guy has got some finish at the rim. There he is, ending the game against Sideline Cancer with an Elam ending layup to put Eberlein Drive into the semifinal for the 2nd year in a row. Starting lineups in tip-off coming up next. TBT, the basketball tournament, is powered by Puma and by Or Health. Or Health, a daily pill to drink less or quit. And Purple. Purple, less pain, better sleep. This is the 6th year West Virginia has been in TBT. This is the first time they've advanced all the way to the semifinal. Their starting lineup features Jared West, Keedy Johnson, James Reese V, Wesley Harris, and Trey Mitchell. Some very recent products of the West Virginia men's basketball program. For Eberlein Drive, not affiliated with one college program, but a collection of some great overseas pros. Anthony Clemens, Gabe York, Ryan Brown, Terry Taylor, and Nate Watson. Eberlein Drive playing in a hostile environment. West Virginia, the de facto home team for this matchup. We're not in Morgantown. We're about 2.5 hours southwest in the state capital of Charleston, but plenty of blue and gold inside the Charleston Coliseum for this matchup tonight. Nate Watson ready to take the tip center. against Wesley Harris of Best Virginia. It's won by Eberlein Drive in the navy blue unis, Best Virginia in the white. And here we go, the first semifinal of TBT 2025. Winner moves one win away from a $1 million prize. Nate Watson to work inside, nearly gathered his own miss and tipped it back in. It's out of bounds and it stays with Eberlein Drive.
Well, right away you see that pressure from Best Virginia. They're going to blow up those ball screens. Nate Watson gets a cleared side, but Wesley Harris, a great job of rotating under the basket to contest that layup.
Great referee crew here tonight. Bill Covington, Earl Watson, and Clarence Armstrong. The lob into Watson, he's blanketed by Mitchell. And here's Anthony Clemens, the point guard for Eberlein Drive, to an open Terry Taylor. Ryan Brown swings it around. Gabe York, corner pocket for three off the front of the tin. And James Reese the rebound for Best Virginia. First possession for the West Virginia Alumni team. Reese, the team's leading scorer, defers to Mitchell. He's short from three. Ryan Brown the rebound.
And Eberlein Drive's fortunate. Trey Mitchell shooting 40% from three in this tournament. Got to talk that switch out.
Terry Taylor played 3 games with the Sacramento Kings of the NBA last season. It's out of bounds. Good defense by Wesley Harris of Best Virginia.
Already, that pressure, you can see it ramped up for Best Virginia. I wondered, based off the shooting for Eberlein Drive and the ability to play off the bounce, were they going to soften that pressure? They know they got to turn defense into offense in this game if they want to keep pace with Eberlein Drive.
Reese has scored 20 points in all 4 games of TBT for Best Virginia, number 3 in white. Only player in the tournament to do that. Jared West found an open lane and scores the game's first bucket.
Jared West getting that shoulder low, getting downhill and finishing off the glass. We saw last game, especially in that 4th quarter, struggling in the tournament up to that point, finds a rhythm and come out of the gates here hot.
West's been a great asset for Best Virginia in terms of facilitating and defense. Gabe York draws a foul in the act of shooting a 3.
And West, you see, getting low. You got no help there from Terry Taylor. Nate Watson a little late to rotate over.
That's Jared West Sr., whose son Jared West Jr. is playing for Best Virginia. As you can see, Sr. played at West Virginia in the mid-90s. His son had a great 4-year career at Marshall, the in-state rival of West Virginia, but in an odd full circle moment, now Jared West Jr. is wearing the colors of his father.
He eventually becomes a Mountaineer.
Eventually.
Eventually. And you get Gabe York going back to the line here. He's just made a living at the foul line. And he's been fouled on 3s on numerous occasions in this tournament. And that's from that paranoia I talked about at the beginning. You want to get too close to contest.
Goes 2 for 3 at the stripe there to tie this game. The foul was on Keedy Johnson, his first. Reese looking to get it going. Pulls up on York, a little bit strong, and the rebound to Brown.
It's kind of that bend, don't break defense we've seen from Eberlein Drive. Teams have not shot it well from 3 against them, 21% in this tournament.
Taylor, long, Harris the rebound. What a pass from Wesley Harris to Jared West. Blocked by Watson, but that's a goaltend, and you can count the bucket.
And just a different type of confidence offensively for Jared West. And how about Wesley Harris? 6'9", get the rebound and get out and go. West gets ahead of the pack. And smart to finish quick with the left there to get it up on the glass with Nate Watson trailing.
Harris is the only returner from Best Virginia's team last year. Clemens breaks the press, finds an open Terry Taylor. He misses the 3, and Harris couldn't control the rebound. On the reset. Brown, a long 2-point try. Taylor cleans up the glass.
And I wonder with this matchup, when you got Trey Mitchell guarding Nate Watson, can Terry Taylor make these other guys pay? I think he's got a little bit of a size advantage, takes advantage there.
Trey Mitchell, the big man, can shoot it from distance, but he's 0 for 2 to start this game.
And a much better job from Nate Watson, being able to locate Trey Mitchell on that pick and pop, make a tougher one than we saw first time.
Taylor, kick out, Ryan Brown. In it goes.
Ryan Brown, just such an important piece to this team. And 3 of 13 from 3 in his last 3 games coming into this one. Just steps up and rips that one.
He knocked your Alumni out of the NCAA tournament about a decade ago. Did you have a chance to clear the air with him?
I did. We had a conversation, but hey, this was a lot of what we saw
Yeah.
when I was a freshman in Illinois, was getting to that backside. Ryan Brown, when he gets his feet set and rotates that ball, he cashes out.
Keedy Johnson into the lane, layup good.
Really smart move from Keedy Johnson. Feels Ryan Brown get chest to chest with him and sees that lane part. Takes advantage, gets downhill, and finishes.
West Virginia used its press so effectively against a Maryland alumni team shell shock in the quarterfinal. Nate Watson with a ferocious dunk after he was fouled.
Keedy Johnson, you see Ryan Brown over pursue there. Terry Taylor not rotating over in time. And Keedy Johnson, 12 a game in this tournament, much more of a factor.
The foul was on Wesley Harris. Taylor with a brick from 3. Watson goes up on second effort and draws the foul.
A lot of what we saw last game from Nate Watson. 3 offensive rebounds. He just has an ability to root you under the basket and use his leverage with that size. Such a welcome addition to this Eberlein Drive team.
So Harris has just picked up his second foul for West Virginia. And we saw a great note about Watson's production on the offensive glass. He leads TBT in offensive rebounds, just picked up another one there.
And it's not just the size, right? You got to put yourself in position to get those offensive rebounds. And that's what Nate Watson does. Knows who he is, wants to finish around the rim, and gets that free throw to go.
3-point lead for Eberlein Drive about halfway through the first quarter. 4 9-minute quarters here for TBT, and of course the game will end via the Elam ending. Play to a target score until to the end of the game clock. West. Johnson knocks it down, a 2-pointer.
Yeah, Keedy Johnson confident early here too, and if you're Gabe York, you cannot get rejected on that ball side. That skid leads to Keedy Johnson going to work.
4 for Johnson. Gabe York looking for his first made bucket from the floor tonight. Calling for a Watson screen. Clemens into the corner. Taylor gets that one to drop.
And Terry Taylor's not going to stop shooting, and it's Eberlein Drive right now. When they get 2 committing to the ball on those ball screens, it is a race to get that ball to the backside. Terry Taylor rises up confidently.
98 games of NBA experience for Terry Taylor, the 25-year-old. Played with the Kings, Pacers, and Bulls. West off the mark. Ryan Brown, another rebound, his third. York pushed from behind by Toby Okani.
White 25. Push to the back.
Eberlein Drive with a 4-point lead about halfway through the first quarter. This is a team that can shoot very well, but West Virginia can match. Keedy Johnson off to a good start for West Virginia. Terry Taylor with the answer for Eberlein Drive. A look at TBT past champions brought to you by AARP. Join AARP and get instant access to member benefits. Of the 4 teams remaining, none of them has won this tournament before, so we are going to have a first-time TBT champion when all is said and done. Eberlein Drive has been knocking on the door. They were in the semifinals last year. They have been in a TBT championship game as well. They finished as runner-up in 2018. Now they're trying to go all the way. It's an Eberlein Drive team that had a great roster on paper coming into this tournament, and they have played that way. We pick the action back up with Gabe York at the free throw line. He has now made 21 free throws, which is one of the highest totals in the tournament. Now second most. And he's up to 22 as Eberlein Drive goes on a 12-4 run here.
And we've just seen out of the gates, we talked about the pressure from West Virginia, and Eberlein Drive handling it early, only 1 turnover. And they're clearing the glass defensively with a big rebounding margin, +6.
Okani spins in the lane and drops it in.
Toby Okani was phenomenal in that 4th quarter in Elam, ending in their quarterfinal win. 8 of his 10 points coming in those sets. And
go ahead.
If you talk to Jared West Sr., he is all about Toby Okani as an X factor. Speaking of X factors, and Gabe York, you cannot get labeled on a screen and lose that man.
7 points for York. That's his first tray of the game. James Reese looking for his first points of the semifinal. There they are.
West Virginia's really made their work in the paint from really 15 feet and in. Haven't made a 3 yet.
Tommy Rutherford lost the handle on the way up, but that's a foul. J.D. Weatherspoon asking for clarification on the call.
And we can talk about Gabe York and James Reese, but I'm looking at this battle. Rutherford comes into the game. He seeks contact, and he's going back to the line here, but J.D. Weatherspoon's the same way. And these 2 guys, when you look at TBT bigs and the way that Bryce Taylor's put together this team, whether it's Nate Watson or Tommy Rutherford, these are guys that are low maintenance. They want to screen, they want to rebound, they want to play their role. Tommy Rutherford does that to a T.
Rutherford 0 for 2 at the free throw line, however. You saw Bryce Taylor, the head coach for Eberlein Drive. He's got ties to a couple of Eberlein Drive players. Weatherspoon fields the lob from West and is turned away. Gabe York on the ball right now, played in the Pacers organization. That's how he knows Bryce Taylor. And Gabe York starting to assert himself, Mike.
Well, you see the outside shooting, but he is so good getting to the rim with that little stride stop to kind of freeze you up in the air and finish softly off the glass. That's a professional scorer right there.
Already 9 points for York. Eberlein Drive scoring leader in TBT this year. Reese with a rainbow that rattles out. Here's Taylor, who thought about a pull-up. Fights off Okani and drops it in, and the West Virginia fans are not happy with that no call.
That's good to see from Terry Taylor. Struggled last game after a big game against La Familia in the round of 16. Foul trouble last game and 0 for 2 from the field. He's come out aggressive tonight.
Lead up to 9 for Eberlein Drive. Weatherspoon on the baseline, guarded by Rutherford. Less than 10 to shoot. Okani for 3.
Not known as a shooter, but we saw the big 3 he hit last game, approaching that Elam ending, and he's shooting it with confidence today.
York loses the handle. Numbers for West Virginia. Isaiah Sanders for 3. 6 straight for West Virginia.
And you can tell that you got the crowd on their feet. That pressure's coming.
Uh-oh. Open man, Terry Taylor. Off the can, West the rebound. West with a burst, dropped off to Weatherspoon. Out of bounds, and it's Eberlein Drive ball.
It's just what we've seen all tournament long. You try to split that ball screen, and West Virginia's out on the run. James Reese, a great look, and you get the one more from West to Sanders, who just has a rep as a shooter. 42% from 3 in college and has shot it well professionally as well.
Will Voorhees has checked into the game for West Virginia. This is his first action since the second round for West Virginia. Did not play in the third round or the quarterfinal. Number 31 in white, he was a D2 standout at Notre Dame College in Ohio. Terrell Brown can't get that contested look to go. Loose ball out of bounds. It stays with West Virginia after a foul on Eberlein Drive's Pedro Bradshaw.
That's all hustle from Jared West. Tommy Rutherford taps it out, but it's a foot race back to that ball. See Jared West just low man wins. Tightrope in that sideline. Draws the contact, and West Virginia's going to have a shot to close this quarter out.
It was 21-12, and then West Virginia hit 2 threes to make it a 3-point game. Now with 5 seconds to go in the quarter. West blanketed by Bradshaw. Sanders gets it off and hits the window, but nothing else. And just when it looked like Eberlein Drive was starting to make its mark, West Virginia closes on a run. And it's just a 3-point game into the first in the TBT semifinal from Charleston.
What you think? Get hands up.
Supposed to hold it. Mom, you're supposed to get the picture.
Double high.
Get the camera out. Come on.
Whoever the small guys
Hold it. Get the camera out. No, just hold it. Just hold it. Just hold it.
Good quarter. Good quarter. Hey, remember, every time it's a dead ball.
I'm only sticking with you from now on.
Hey, double high look.
I'm sticking with you from now on, all right? I don't trust anybody
JD.
else.
Will. So, big shot, Toby. Big shot, Tay. Okay, double high look. Whoever the smallest big is, dives. Whoever the smallest big is, dives. Okay?
Saturday, Major League Baseball is taking over the iconic Bristol Motor Speedway for a must-watch, one-of-a-kind event. Catch Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves as they take on Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds in the MLB Speedway Classic. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern on Fox. So there's the Bristol Motor Speedway. It's about 3 hours due south of where we are in Charleston, West Virginia for the first of this TBT semifinal. TBT, the $1 million winner-take-all tournament. Winner of this game is moving to the championship and will have a shot at the $1 million prize. Charleston has been a great host. This is the 4th TBT Charleston has hosted. And West Virginia bringing out a great crowd here tonight. Isaiah Sanders ties the game to start the second quarter on a made three. It is a 9-0 run for West Virginia.
And it's great presence of mind from Voorhees. Feels the second body coming, kicks it out to Weatherspoon. Quick swing to the corner, and Sanders, 39% from three in Germany, 20 a game. The Duke can fill it up.
He's got 2 threes already tonight. How will Eberlein Drive answer? A.J. Slaughter, there it is.
The Eberlein Drive, if West Virginia's going to put 2 on the ball, they're going to get shots like that all night. A.J. Slaughter, 17 years as a pro. He's seeing a thing or two.
And he's been a part of Eberlein Drive for 5 years now. Now, he was on the roster last year but did not play because of international commitments. Oh, Sanders is unconscious right now.
Slaughter taps his chest and says, that's my bad. I can't run in at the ball off Isaiah Sanders when he's got it cooking.
Pedro Bradshaw denied by Sanders, who's flexing his two-way attributes.
I mean, Sanders and O'Connor have come into this game and completely changed it. I mean, you come over and help from the weak side. Weatherspoon gets beat a little bit on the spin. And Sanders, just what West Virginia's been doing all tournament, is covering for each other. One guy gets beat, it's like playing whack-a-mole. There's another guy that pops up.
We mentioned West Virginia has gotten younger from last year. Sanders 25, O'Connor 23. That was an NBA range 3 for Gabe York. That was a big part of why the West Virginia coaching staff thinks that they've had this run. They've got young and fresh legs. Voorhees, another young player, and he lays in the alley-oop from West.
I know Voorhees has a rep as a scorer at the D2 level, really high-level scorer. But that's not easy coming in here and making an impact like this.
O'Connor from Sanders, and West Virginia is on a 16-3 run. They have taken over this game, and the crowd roars its approval. Well, West Virginia fans have come out, including the Mountaineer Pep Band, for this semifinal from Charleston Coliseum. West Virginia has played every game of TBT this year on essentially its home court, and riding a wave of fan enthusiasm. They have gotten blistering hot from three-point range after a cold start.
It's usually the defense and the toughness that gets these fans on their feet, but my goodness, have they been lacing it here to end the first quarter and start the second.
Shooting just under 32% from three through the first 4 games, and here's Voorhees with the takeaway and the dish to O'Connor, but Terrell Brown with a heck of an effort down low for Eberlein Drive to stop an easy layup.
I really can't say enough about this bench unit for West Virginia. Just, you know, kind of looked out of sorts in the beginning, but Will Voorhees jumping the passing lane here, getting out on the break, and that's why you run the floor and chase down your man. If you're Toby O'Connor, you give him an outlet around the basket, and O'Connor finds himself shooting 2.
O'Connor started every game for the Mountaineers last season. This is as recent of a college grad as you'll see. Averaged over 8 points per game under Darian DeVries, who has, of course, moved on to take over the head coaching job at Indiana. And O'Connor 0 for 2 at the stripe. But an offensive rebound saves the possession for West Virginia. Weatherspoon blocked from behind by Nate Watson.
It's a late rotation from Anthony Clemens, but Nate Watson does a great job getting back in the picture to contest that shot.
Slaughter for 3. Rebound picked up by Terrell Brown. He tries to save it, and it was off Jared West of West Virginia. So a hustle play for Brown keeps things in Eberlein Drive control.
And Terrell Brown, you saw the hustle play there, but how about last game? 6'3", about $180. 9 boards and 3 blocks. Just absurd display of toughness from Terrell Brown.
Generously listed at 6'3" as well. Clemens in the lane to Watson. Taylor slings it across to Slaughter. Another 3 for Slaughter to quiet the crowd.
And that's recognition from Terry Taylor. He could have kept backing his man down, Jared West, but he realizes that West Virginia is on high alert to rotate over. I got this skip pass, and Slaughter's ready to knock it down.
West, a no-look pass. Voorhees shot fake. Step back on Taylor. 3 ball is long.
You don't score 2,800 points in college and you come out shy in a game. Voorhees is coming out and ripping it.
And again, didn't play in either of West Virginia's last 2 games, so why be hesitant? Here's Terrell Brown. Couldn't find some breathing room, blanketed by the 6'8" Toby Okani. But a foul is called.
And again with Toby Okani. Jared West Sr. calls it out, but Okani getting into the space, maybe a little bit of hand, but a little bit of ball as well. And talk about Jared West called him the X factor. And why is that? When you look at the identity of this team, the defense, the toughness, being active in gaps, Toby Okani fits that. And when he's scoring like he has early here, it's kind of hard to take him off the floor. But they'll give him a breather now.
Terry Taylor picks up the foul for Eberlein Drive, his second. A foul off ball here.
What we got? What we got? Okay. All right, I got you. I got you. Try to take it out. Try to take it out. Box. Box.
Inbounds pass coming from Trey Mitchell of West Virginia. The foul was on Anthony Clemens. Clemens is first and the team's 3rd of the quarter. You get 5 until the bonus. Reese from the elbow. Almost have forgotten about James Reese a little bit in this surge for West Virginia.
And that's the beauty of having a bench that's willing to step up like that. James Reese over 20 points in every single game in this tournament. And it doesn't take him long to find a rhythm.
This is Watson, the kick out. Ryan Brown off the back iron, and then Mitchell toppled over in the lane. That's a foul on Watson of Eberlein Drive.
Well, that's what they're trying to get to. They're trying to get to this short roll for Nate Watson. And when you hit that short roll, you really have options in both corners, but particularly on that backside, whether it's Ryan Brown, AJ Slaughter, really any of these guys, they're getting the open looks. You just got to kind of take your time and knock them down, but that's easier said than done. We saw Shell Shock last game, 4 for 25 from 3, and it's not like they were all contested. West Virginia just has a way of getting you sped up.
They've even sped up Eberlein Drive, a team that's looked pretty unflappable. 3 of their 4 TBT wins have been by double digits this year. They were tested in the 3rd round against a Kentucky alumni team, La Familia, and won that game by 1 point. Keedy Johnson with 3 to shoot. Jared West for 3. Rattles down.
Great ball pressure from Ryan Brown in that possession, but just better offense from Jared West. Somewhat of a prayer.
It sure was. West now just 5 for 19 from 3 in TBT. Got a big one there. Watson loses it out of bounds.
West Virginia's just going to continue to collapse on that short roll for Nate Watson. And it's whether or not you can make a move and get rid of it quick enough.
Clemens, the former Iowa Hawkeye, with the inbounds for Eberlein Drive. Here's Gabe York just off the bench. Johnson blankets him. And 5 to shoot. Clemens glides in off the front of the rim. It stays with Eberlein Drive, and they'll get a fresh shot clock after this timeout. 3:55 to go until halftime. Jared West with hardly any time left in the shot clock.
The game is flipped, and it's been the bench, but it's also been this guy right here, Jared West. When his number's called, he's knocking it down.
All right, continue to look for those cuts, drift in vision of our bigs. All right? Hey, we got to get stops to close out the quarter. We're in good shape, okay? 3 stops in a row to close out the quarter. All right, here we go. Come on. Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3,
In the huddle with Eberlein Drive head coach Bryce Taylor is powered by Puma.
Well, Bryce Taylor's right. We got to keep the ball in front. We got to get stops. And it starts with the dribble penetration from West Virginia. Obviously, you have to take care of the ball if you're Eberlein Drive, not give runouts, but beat off the dribble a little, overexcited on the ball, and they're just getting gashed. And credit West Virginia, they're rotating the ball, getting that to that backside. And these guys, after starting over 4 from 3, 5 for 6 cents, they've been absolutely shooting it with confidence.
Again, a West Virginia team only shooting a modest 31.9% from deep, but they have gotten hot at the right time. Clemens for Eberlein Drive has hit a couple Elam ending buckets on this run for the Drive. And it goes to Watson, and he's fouled by Mitchell.
And you notice the shift there. That's not West Virginia blowing up ball screens. They want to be more level to the screen and retreat back. Now that spreads your defense out more. And Nate Watson gets Trey Mitchell pinned under the basket. They're really fortunate there. A foul was called, but that was a bucket.
A slam dunk, probably. Only the first team foul for West Virginia of the half. That was on line for Gabe York, but it popped out. West at the controls. And the wraparound pass was deflected by the heel of Ryan Brown. Mitchell, the big man, can shoot. Off the mark there, Clemens the board.
That's twice now they haven't communicated that potential switch there up top. Trey Mitchell.
Clemens is fouled.
2 shots.
A hard take.
2 shots.
And 2 shots.
2 shots. No, 2 shots. 2 shots. 2 shots. 2 shots.
I love the patience from Clemens. We talked about it really this whole tournament with him. And as we were talking with Bryce Taylor earlier in the day, just it's great to have a guy like Anthony Clemens where you just have this calming influence on the floor. He's always kind of level-headed. Obviously knocked down the big shot against La Familia to send them to the quarterfinal. But when you're facing a team like West Virginia who wants to get you sped up, to have a guy that plays with that type of pace is so valuable.
Trey, next shot falling.
Played 60 games for the Shibuya Sunrockers in Japan last season, averaged over 14 points a game. His first 2 points in TBT's 2025 semifinal come at the free throw line, and West Virginia has only gotten to the line once. They are 0 for 2 from the stripe. Eberlein Drive hanging around thanks to some productivity at the free throw line. Wesley Harris takes a hard fall along the baseline, battling for a rebound.
Wesley Harris falls into the Eberlein Drive section.
That's right.
It's a small section, but it's mighty.
Eberlein Drive, one of 2 teams that has been a part of every TBT. Now, they were forced to withdraw on the day their tournament was supposed to begin in 2020 because of a positive COVID test, but they are a TBT charter team. Watson can't tip it in. Terry Taylor for 3. On the second effort, it goes down.
That's probably been, outside of the Gabe York launch from the Jerry West logo, that's probably been their most difficult three-point look all night, but Terry Taylor just programmed to score, finds his way there.
That one didn't drop for Johnson, and the rebound tapped under Eberlein Drive control by Watson. Clemens curls, throws it up to Watson, and alley-oop.
I talked about it. They got out of pressuring those ball screens. You got Trey Mitchell retreating to the basket. Nate Watson slips behind him, and he's hanging on the rim.
6'10", 260. The backboard still shaking on the other end. Harris for 3. Too strong. Rebound picked up by Clemens. Eberlein Drive has regained the lead late second quarter. That pass intercepted by Wesley Harris. Harris throws down the dunk after Ryan Brown got chucked.
That's one thing you cannot do against this West Virginia team. Turning the ball over in transition, leading the runouts. Wesley Harris takes his time after he bulldozes Ryan Brown and finishes with the hammer.
Skip past Taylor. He's got 10 tonight.
Oh, you can tell he's feeling it.
That one rattled out, rebound loose and picked up by James Reese. Reese nearly a carry. Ball taken away by Eberlein Drive, but Watson can't control it. Back to West Virginia. Back to the alley-oop.
Talked about the change in ball screen defense. You want to retreat to the basket. If you're Trey Mitchell, I think Watson slips right behind him, knowing to tag on the weak side. I think Watson doing what he's done all tournament, 60% from the field. That was a much higher percentage look there.
Eberlein Drive, no stranger to being the road dog in this tournament. They knocked off the Kentucky Alumni team in Lexington. And now are taking on the West Virginia host team here in Charleston in the semifinal.
I can't think of a ton of different scenarios in this tournament where a team on their way to trying to punch their ticket to a title game has a chance to pick up 2 true road wins. It's so unique, but this Eberlein Drive team is just, they're dialed in, they're organized.
Final minute of the first half. Reese drops it off to Weatherspoon, who throws down a contested dunk.
A great look from Reese. You get downhill and you get that help uphill from Rutherford and Weatherspoon. Right there when you need them.
Ryan Brown hits the turnaround J, and he draws the foul.
Well, Ryan Brown's another guy that has played in this tournament for a long time and is itching to get to a title game and capture a title. Got the spin away from Reese. Tough off-balance finish. I think he's done such a good job tonight on ball defensively. And he's a guy that in this tournament, he's played for a number of different teams, but he is a chameleon. He's willing to do whatever it takes and play whatever type of role you want to put him in. That's why, more times than not, he's a part of winning basketball.
Brown has played in TBT semifinal before with Friday Beers back on the run they had in 2023. He says he's due for one. He feels like he's due for a share of that $1 million prize because he's been knocking on the door with a couple TBT teams, but looking to get to the championship game.
I bet West Virginia feels like they're due as well for as long as they've been in this tournament as well and knocking on the door.
I told him he's shooting another air ball, you're going to throw the sign away. All right? I don't use it that often. You want it? Don't get a move. Don't get a move. Yeah.
20 seconds to go, second quarter. I don't know why I'm sounding surprised here, but this has just been a great game. I mean, semifinals, you'd expect that, but 37 up and 37 down. This has been fun.
It has been, and the intensity cranked up. It was loud here to start the game, but certainly as we got into that second quarter, and here as we finish towards halftime, it has been just a really, really hard-fought game on both sides.
Shot clock turned off. West Virginia trying to take a lead into the locker room at halftime. Less than 10 seconds now. West activates with 5. O'Connie for 3. He got it. What a second quarter for West Virginia. Toby O'Connie with 10. Heading off the floor into the locker room.
Toby O'Connie, again, doesn't have the rep as a shooter, but could fool us all tonight. Knocking down his second one.
This is a guy that is auditioning for a pro contract, and is certainly putting his best foot forward with a couple big threes in the first half for West Virginia. 40-37. Can West Virginia move to its first TBT championship game? It's halftime in Charleston.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Toby Okani from West Virginia Mountaineers basketball to West Virginia TBT basketball. That three gives West Virginia a lead at halftime. A game-high 10 for Toby Okani at the break. Toby Okani from West Virginia Mountaineers basketball to West Virginia TBT basketball. That three gives West Virginia a lead at halftime. A game-high 10 for Toby Okani at the break. the championship banners for TBT's history, beginning in 2014 through the Overseas Elite Dynasty and on toward the present day. One of these teams hoping to move to the championship game and keep their hopes alive of that $1 million prize and a banner of their own in TBTs to come. A look at the first half box score, and Mike, West Virginia, we talked about their press defense coming into the game, but how about their offense in the first half?
They just created a frenetic pace in this game, and they don't necessarily want rock fights. They want to get up and run and turn their defense into offense. The 11 points off of turnovers. You're getting out rebounded 22-10, and out they got to the free throw line 12-2 on you, and yet the timely threes and your bench stepping up in a big way, 23-6 on bench points.
Our halftime stats are brought to you by Purple. Purple, less pain, better sleep. You don't get to the TBT championship without a little bit of adversity. Can Eberlein Drive come back, or will West Virginia move on to the championship game? TBT, the basketball tournament.
Let's go.
TBT, the basketball tournament, is powered by Puma and AARP. Join AARP and get instant access to member benefits. A warm Thursday evening inside Charleston Coliseum in West Virginia. Semifinal of TBT. Winner moves on to the championship game and keeps its $1 million hopes alive. The host team, West Virginia, with a 40-37 lead over Eberlein Drive at the break. Welcome courtside. Great to have you with us. We are excited for half number 2. Mike LaTulip and Chris Fosters. What's one thing that surprised you about the first half?
I think when you just look at the interior, I think for West Virginia, 11 for 15 from 2 in that first half. We saw the onslaught of threes, but on the flip side, Eberlein Drive, only 36%, 15 feet and in. They got to do a better job finishing in this second half.
A reminder, this is game 1 of 2 TBT semifinals. The next one comes your way immediately after we wrap from Wichita, Kansas. The Aftershocks, the Wichita State alumni team, take on We Are D3, which has gone on, as you can see, a Cinderella-type run. Despite 7 TBT appearances, this is the longest We Are D3 has ever advanced in the tournament. Aftershocks trying to make it to their first TBT championship. If they do, they will host the TBT championship on August 3rd. Terry Taylor with the ball for Eberlein Drive to start the second half. It doesn't drop off glass, and the rebound to West Virginia.
Clearly looking to isolate Terry Taylor out of the gates. That rip drive on Wesley Harris just can't quite finish off the glass.
West Virginia trailed by 3 after the first quarter, and then outscored Eberlein Drive by 6 in the second quarter. Nate Watson picks up the foul for Eberlein Drive, his second.
Trey Mitchell didn't quite get going in that first half, and you see Jared West Sr. right out of the gates. Let's set a cross screen on the baseline to free Mitchell up, and even though Nate Watson's got a little bit of size on him, he still backs him down and finds himself shooting 2.
Trey Mitchell at the free throw line. Played at West Virginia for 1 season from 2022 to 2023.
Hey, we got one shot here. Straight in.
Hit the Elam ending game-winning jumper against the Marshall alumni team in the second round. These are his first 2 points of the semifinal.
You see that pressure from West Virginia. That ball goes through the baskets, and it's a direct shift of focus to the defensive end.
West for Reese, but got a little too fancy with it. West Virginia hangs on and sets up the half-court offense. That's the 7th turnover for Eberlein Drive. West. And the rebound to Taylor.
I got it. I was gonna say it's a wrestling match. Down low.
I'll take it.
A little bit of a broken play, and Clemens is able to get the switch with Mitchell, and Watson sees Harris down there and says, "Give me the rock."
And that's the 3rd personal on Wesley Harris. You get 6 in TBT games before fouling out.
Just clean it up a little bit. Clean it up a little bit.
Just 1 minute into the third. Here's Gabe York. In and out. Clemens with the offensive rebound.
And let's see if Eberlein can make them pay. They've gotten second chance opportunities. And Anthony Clemens gets the offensive rebound, gets it right back to him, and hits it pretty much from the same spot we saw him end La Familia's run.
Not much more one guy can do on a possession. 5 points for Clemens, and what a cut from James Reese.
I think James Reese just saw in that first half the amount of pressure Ryan Brown's putting on the ball. I got a chance for a back cut.
Gabe York, a step back J. 11 for York.
I mean, this pace has just been frenetic in this game.
Reese gets his long game going.
Yeah, it does not take much to get him going.
And again, Mike, just 4 points in the first half for the 3rd leading scorer in TBT this year. But 5 quick ones to start the third for James Reese, the 5th.
He can get to 20.
Of hitting a shot like that, as crazy as it might seem, he's also expert at drawing fouls. That one goes on Johnson.
I talked about the paranoia. When it comes to Gabe York. You over pursue a little bit, you get into his airspace, Keedy Johnson tries his best to kind of stay away, get that little leg kick.
Understood.
Gabe York.
Understood. That's a foul, though. What's that?
And that's what professional scorers do. They find a way to get to the line. And this is just not the place you want Gabe York if you're West Virginia.
We shot 2, right? We shot 2. Okay. Okay, we shot 2 already. Hold on.
You're looking at Clarence Armstrong, our official who is mic'd up.
That's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 2. 2 shots.
He's shot 2 already.
Huh? That's it. It's a 2, right? Let me see. Foot's on the line. Yeah, foot's on the line. Foot's on the line. Did he make 2? He made 2? Yeah, play. Let's go.
All right.
That's a great catch. Clarence Armstrong, Earl Walton, Bill Covington are officials. York with those 2 made free throws upon review now with 13 points.
Jared West, such a good floor game in that first half. Comes down a layup.
Wesley Harris.
Well, welcome to 2025 basketball. We're going to pass up a layup to kick it out to Wesley Harris for the tray.
And Nate Watson with a slam dunk alley-oop. Now, I think they are going to review that Wesley Harris bucket. His foot may have been on the line, scored a 3, but we'll see if that upholds through review. West misses the floater.
Once again, you saw in that Nate Watson dunk, just not enough help rotating over on that lob.
Mitchell misses off glass. Ryan Brown in and out. West the box out on Watson.
Trey Mitchell wants the ball right now.
Stay legal here. Come on, stay legal.
Terry Taylor. Good defense by Terry Taylor. Taylor listed as a guard, but he's got some size. Here's Gabe York on a run to the rack. Going to the free throw line.
York staying in attack mode. I mean, you just see there the little show and go. He shows that ball. Keedy Johnson gets chest to chest with him. And he gets downhill for the what would be finish. Finding himself shooting 2.
That was the 4th personal on Wesley Harris, by the way. So he's on his way out for West Virginia, along with Trey Mitchell. Jared West, the West Virginia head coach, looks on. He coached the first West Virginia team in TBT back in 2019. Shooter's touch for Gabe York. He's on a roll at the free throw line, now 15 points, and the lead cut to 1 for West Virginia.
You just wonder if those free throws get him in a rhythm to see one go through the net from 3 here coming up soon.
Reese pulls up. 11 points for James Reese.
And they just, Eberlein Drive, you got to talk that out in ball screens. Anthony Clemens switches late. Rutherford not getting out in time. That 13-foot jumper's a layup for James Reese.
20-plus points in every game of TBT. 11 so far tonight for Reese. York. Loose ball. Rutherford saves it. York for 3. Book it.
Yeah, he just felt like it was coming. You let him see those free throws go through. And, man, he is seeing red right now.
Out of bounds. And it's Eberlein Drive ball.
Off white. Off white.
And Gabe York, bit of a broken play. Credit Tommy Rutherford for keeping the ball alive and just find that three-point line, get your feet back and let it fly.
Out of bounds.
Doing a little talking to the crowd as well. You mentioned it, not their first road environment on this run.
And there's Gabe York still cajoling the West Virginia fans in the front row. How about that? Second chance points overwhelmingly in favor of Eberlein Drive. West Virginia the lead in points off turnovers. Terry Taylor. Misses with the left. Rutherford on second effort.
Well, it all starts with the drive from Taylor. You get going downhill and get that second guy to commit. Weatherspoon comes over to block it. There is no one there to block out Tommy Rutherford. He's there for the putback.
A 1-point lead for Eberlein Drive. West breaks through but misses the layup off 2 feet.
Great job from Terrell Brown rotating over to help.
Terry Taylor launches a 3. In and out with a swirl. O'Connor the rebound. Keedy Johnson, wild shot, and one. Foul on Rutherford, and Johnson with a chance at a 3-point play.
Keedy Johnson using that speed to get downhill. He sees Rutherford head up with him. Tries to find that angle, get the bump, and finish through contact. Keedy Johnson, this West Virginia team, trying to punch their ticket to a final.
Talk to me. Look, I drove you on Paris, right? I faded. I'm looking.
Alex Pilow's legendary season continues as he looks to hold off Pato O'Ward, who won't go down without a fight as he looks to chase him down in Portland. August 10th, only on Fox.
Understood. Listen to me.
A quick programming note.
On yours, I thought you got to
Two plays that were originally ruled three-pointers have been changed to two. One for Gabe York of Eberlein Drive, another for Wesley Harris of Best Virginia.
The one before. Okay, yeah, okay.
So Keedy Johnson at the foul line for Best Virginia. The score 53-52 in favor of the West Virginia Alumni team. Johnson completes the three-point play. He's got 7.
Kind of wild there to start action. Isaiah Sanders hadn't checked in the game, and West Virginia only had 4 guys on the floor. Jared West Jr. imploring him to get on the floor.
What a shot for Anthony Clemens with a hand in his face.
And Clemens puts one in his eye.
Eberlein Drive grabs the lead on the Clemens 3. Reese for O'Connor. Jump stop and the floater.
I love that. He's knocked down a few threes, but resists the temptation, gets downhill and plays off a 2. Finishes with a floater.
Rutherford fouled as he tries to dunk it home on a pick and roll with Clemens.
25. Hits him in the face.
Rutherford is a point guard and shooting guard's dream because he rolls hard to the basket. O'Connor a little late to recover, Rutherford gets blocked. Almost finishes through the contact.
Well, it's been a busy summer for Tommy Rutherford on this run to the semifinal for Eberlein Drive, and just before the tournament, he got married. Congratulations to Tommy Rutherford, tying the knot on July 12th.
Honey, do you want to spend your honeymoon on,
Yeah.
on our TBT run? Let's do it.
Exactly. Oh, they can go on their honeymoon in August, and hey, if he wins a share of the $1 million prize, that would certainly pay for a wonderful honeymoon.
No question, and some.
Reese over Rutherford.
Love the patience. You play in the middle third of the floor, can't have help come in. James Reese starting to heat up in this third quarter.
This has been a back and forth third quarter as well. Pedro Bradshaw is fouled by Isaiah Sanders.
How good was that from Bradshaw? Understood that the help was coming in. Sanders a little late to rotate out. You attack that top foot. Now he's trailing the play. Show that ball, finish through contact. And Bradshaw's a guy, 4 for 8 from 3 in the tournament.
Boy, you better get it.
Doesn't need the high volume, but was 40% from 3 in Germany and Australia this year. He's just another guy on this team where you look as like an 8th man that could start on a lot of TBT teams.
100%, and he had a big moment in the second round. 16 points and the Elam ending game winner for Eberlein Drive. He was in the Indiana Pacers organization once upon a time, and has a previous relationship with Gabe York and Eberlein Drive head coach Bryce Taylor, who's currently an assistant for the Pacers G League team. Chaos at midcourt. It finds Reese on the wing. 3 ball, just a tad long.
How about some full court pressure there from Eberlein Drive? A little token 3-quarter court. Bryce Taylor trying to throw a little change up in there.
J.D. Weatherspoon with the defense on Ryan Brown, but there's Rutherford, Johnny on the spot.
Just a lunch pail guy. When that ball comes off the rim, Tommy Rutherford is seeking it and putting it back.
Eberlein Drive by 4, closing the third quarter strong. Weatherspoon, the former Toledo Rocket. Wild shot. Sanders tries to save it. He is fouled. Bradshaw picks up the foul.
You got to play without fouling, but the interior defense for Eberlein Drive has certainly gotten better here in the third quarter compared to the first half. And Weatherspoon just kind of an off-balance shot. Great pursuit from Sanders.
Yeah, he can't get that
Bradshaw,
one. He can't get that one.
like most players, kind of throwing his
He's
hands
throwing up a wild hook
wondering
shot.
what
He
he
can't
did.
get that.
And no player has ever been guilty
Never.
of a foul.
No, never.
You heard Clarence Armstrong explaining it. Reese dumped off to Voorhees under the basket. Would have been a tough shot.
Voorhees did a great job continuing to seal his man.
Euro step, Terrell, beg your pardon, Pedro Bradshaw.
That from Bradshaw. Got the finish and then immediately flipping your focus to pressure in full court. Bradshaw with a major shot in the arm for Eberlein Drive this quarter.
Here's Voorhees, who draws the foul and puts it in.
45.
2,800
45. Good job. Good job.
collegiate points scored. He knows how to put the ball in the bucket, and I love that on the roll. Beat your man downhill. Rutherford late coming into the play. That's a feathery touch over the top for the floater.
Second personal on Tommy Rutherford.
I got you.
Yeah, they retired Will Voorhees' number at Division II Notre Dame College. Had a record-setting career for the Falcons. Led Notre Dame College to its first NCAA Division II tournament and had 44 points in the game.
Well, you got to give him a lot of credit, too. You don't know how much you're going to play or if you're going to play, and yet you come out with this type of aggression and confidence to give your team a boost. A big-time performance from Will Voorhees.
Final minute of the third. The drive by 3. Rutherford slips it to Bradshaw. Voorhees with the double team. Bradshaw couldn't land it. Loose ball. Shot clock turned off for West Virginia. Intercepted by Slaughter. And now Eberlein Drive can add to its lead before the third quarter ends.
Got to know if you're Jared West, just take care of it, shot clock off. You want to end the quarter with the ball in your hands.
An uncharacteristic turnover for West Virginia in this game. Slaughter a deep 3. And that's all she wrote for the third quarter. This game has the makings of a TBT classic. Back and forth third quarter, the Drive leads by 3. Winner moves on to the TBT championship.
Oh, you're eating. All right, I'll come back next time. Oh, yeah, did you get a picture, by the way?
What a start it has been to our first TBT semifinal. The nightcap to come in Wichita. We'll get you out there as soon as we end. Ty Nichols, what a run he has had for We Are D3, leading the tournament in 3-pointers. Trying to pull off another upset against the host team Aftershocks, a Wichita State alumni group that has been a TBT staple for the last handful of years. It'll be rocking in Wichita tonight, and there's a great crowd on hand inside the Charleston Coliseum, built in 1959, for this semifinal showdown between the West Virginia alumni team and Eberlein Drive. Mike Latulip and Chris Foster's ready for the finish, with the winner moving on to the championship game. West Virginia ball, and here's O'Connie, stripped.
Eberlein Drive showing a little zone to start that possession. Just Bryce Taylor once again, you saw with the full court pressure coming out of the timeout, and here he is with the zone, just constantly throwing change-ups all game.
Eberlein Drive trailed at halftime. They lead by 3 now to start the fourth quarter.
Slaughter had Ryan Brown on the one more. Says, don't worry about it, I got it.
There's 2 more for A.J. Slaughter, who will celebrate his 38th birthday on August 3rd, which is TBT Championship Sunday. Could he be playing in that game? Johnson, the floater.
Johnson's just been so good, so solid this game. 4 for 5 from the field, up to 9 points.
Here's Pedro Bradshaw at the controls. That'll do.
Bradshaw right away. He just told Terrell Brown to clear out. Liked the matchup with Weatherspoon. Thought he might get downhill. Instead, he rises up and buries one.
All 8 of Bradshaw's points have been in the second half. Bounce pass out to Keedy Johnson. Around and out. Terrell Brown across the way to Slaughter, the veteran. Off the rim, Watson, the offensive rebound, doing what he does best. Now Terrell Brown. Long rebound, Johnson of West Virginia.
And I think you wonder, with the way that West Virginia is being out-rebounded right now, is that going to catch up to them? Now 16 offensive rebounds for Eberlein Drive, and I mean, you just look at that rebounding advantage. Plus 18 on the glass for Eberlein Drive, 19-6 at the free throw line. It just hasn't really hurt West Virginia in this game because they finished at such a high level around the rim, still 65%. But man, that is quite the margin on the glass.
On the offensive glass, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, to only have 4 for the entire game. And look at that, the second chance points as well. But Will Voorhees getting it done inside to save the possession for West Virginia. He's got a chance at his second old-fashioned three-point play.
This just feels like found money for West Virginia. And you get the slip out from Reese, and Voorhees just takes his time down there. He's fired up, and he should be. He's played a big role in keeping this game close for West Virginia.
Voorhees with 8. And West picking up Clemens. Bradshaw hits a line drive floater.
I thought when that ball got skipped to Bradshaw, you had the one more in the corner to Slaughter, but Bradshaw's been cooking. He said, I can do it myself.
Having another TBT moment, Pedro Bradshaw with 10. Johnson short, Bradshaw another rebound. Lobbed up to Taylor. Taylor up and under, but wide right. Mitchell the rebound. Out to Reese. Reese gets checked by A.J. Slaughter.
Bradshaw on that skip, he got the one more to the corner. He just puts his head down, finishes with the floater. And he has really stepped up here in this second half. Only one field goal attempt in the first, and you see this second half, he has just been so aggressive, getting downhill and looking for his shot in a moment where Eberlein needed it.
West misses the open 3.
Clemens just daring West to shoot the ball, only 22% from 3 coming into this game. He said, I'm gonna go under.
Terry Taylor Rutherford fouled as he tried to stuff it back home.
And once again, part of offensive rebounding is not just blocking out your man. It's if we go to block a shot with 2 guys, who's going to sink and fill and block out a Tommy Rutherford, block out a Nate Watson. That's where West Virginia struggled in this game.
Are you serious? On the rebound?
The shot goes up, and Mitchell goes and gives kind of a half contest, and there's no one there to get Rutherford.
How do we know he's going up? He didn't even have it.
I think, they're saying he was just grabbing the rebound. It wasn't a tip back. The reason he's shooting is because they thought it was a tip back.
That might be the worst I've ever seen in my life. Quickie.
The opinions of head coach Jared West.
He didn't even have the rebound. How do you know he's going up? How do you know he's going up?
Oh, it's the best.
He didn't even have the rebound.
Oh.
Reese, kick out, West. Had all day to line that one up.
just look at West. You see the three go in, and there's no three goggles, there's no arrows shooting into the stands. It's shift your focus and start playing D.
West nearly with the steal. West won a state championship in this building in high school. And there's the steal for Johnson.
Clemens kind of predetermined in that read.
No look pass to Voorhees. Here comes West Virginia. Down to 2. Rutherford takes the edge off the crowd. He's got 10.
A finish, and West Virginia still hasn't figured out that backside, that tag man on the backside to rotate over and stop Rutherford, something they practiced in shoot-around earlier today. And just not really translating it out onto the floor, but man, just on the previous possession with the layup for West Virginia. Kind of just the patience from Katie Johnson to find Voorhees.
Okay.
Foul on Pedro Bradshaw a moment ago.
There's that fierce switch that, you know, when Trey Mitchell picks and pops and Clemens talks to Terry Taylor to get out of there, it does not matter for Mitchell. We've seen that throughout this tournament. When he gets deep post position, it's good night.
Taylor in the lane right as we are about to cross over into Elam ending territory. A dozen for Taylor, his first points of the second half.
Eberlein Drive wanting a timeout there. Now do you foul to set the score? You're at 4 fouls, so you don't want to be in the bonus. Got to play this possession out.
Stay legal here, stay legal.
They're switching again. See this help coming over. Job from Rutherford.
O'Connie underneath on a dime from Mitchell. And now Eberlein Drive takes the timeout, but not really the way they drew it up. It's just a 2-point lead. And the target score will be set at 85. We are about to cross over into the Elam ending and TBT madness. Back for the finale of this semifinal in a moment. The Elam ending is a TBT original. We have seen some of the best finishes we've ever seen in the Elam ending in TBT 2025. First stoppage under 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The game clock stops and a target score is set, equal to the leading team score +8. First team to the target score wins. Jared West has West Virginia in newfound territory. They've never advanced to the semifinal of TBT in their 6 seasons. Can they make it to the championship game? Eberlein Drive has been to the championship game. They've been to the semifinal as recently as last year. Gabe York for 3. Short.
And it's important here for Eberlein Drive. You got 14 fouls. The next foul, you're in the bonus and sending West Virginia to the line to shoot 1 and get the ball back.
First to 85 wins the game. West Virginia needs 10. Eberlein Drive needs 8. Mitchell turns it over on his way out of bounds.
Eberlein Drive is really switching these ball screens. West Virginia not making them pay yet.
Clemens, runner, off the right side of the tin, and Taylor able to grab the rebound after he couldn't stuff it home. It stays with Eberlein Drive.
It's kind of been tough sledding for Terry Taylor around the rim in this game. Trey Mitchell wants a review. We got a little scrum, and
We ain't got a questionable call tonight.
it looked like it went off the shin of Trey Mitchell.
And plays are only reviewable as York turns it over to West when a team gets within 4 points of the target score. So we are not quite there yet as far as benches being able to request replay review.
What a read defensively there from Jared West, just sniffing out that pass back to the inbounder.
Oconee has had a great game for West Virginia. Misses the jump stop in the lane. Neither team has scored in the Elam ending.
And Perez free-flowing as things were in the second half. Things have gotten a little choppy here.
Brick from Anthony Clemens.
Get that Elam ending, get that target score. Guys start losing their minds a little bit.
Jared West lost the handle a little bit. Keedy Johnson saves it, and from the West Virginia bench, Jared West wants a timeout, I think, to do exactly what you said, Mike, just settle everything down.
Yeah, just everybody, let's gather our composure a little bit here, but a great timeout in the corner there from Jared West Sr. We don't want to get trapped there and have a run out for Eberlein Drive.
We'll listen into their huddle in just a moment.
Will!
Okay. Will, so. Trey, where we at? Hey! Hey, triangle, come here, let's go. Triangle to get in, triangle to get in. Okay, JD, you and Will, high ball screen. Okay? Reese and Will, let's go, let's go. Let's go. Family, huh? Will's got Trey, let's go. Family on 3, 1, 2, 3,
Okay, so you heard
go.
what they want to do on the inbounds pass and then some high ball screens.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I thought they'd be a little bit deeper in the corner on the inbounds, but looks like the officials are kind of putting him in that normal inbound spot on the baseline. That makes the inbounds easier, and very clearly they want to go to these high ball screens because Eberlein Drive's been switching them recently. I talked about West Virginia not making them pay yet. And I also just look at the Elam ending right now. Pedro Bradshaw on the floor for Eberlein, who hasn't been out there for the Elam ending many times. And how about Will Voorhees? A big moment, 2-point game in the Elam ending. Just kind of cold off the bench this tournament.
We got recall.
Amazing.
Okay.
Voorhees had not made a shot from the floor in TBT until tonight. All 3 of his points collectively in the tournament had been at the free throw line. He has stepped up in a big way, and again, has an outstanding resume. But who's going to strike first in the Elam ending?
There's that switch again.
James Reese with a shot that was way off target, and somehow West Virginia saved it for a moment, but now numbers for Eberlein Drive. Now Watson on a tightrope, and did they signal jump off? I didn't see a tie-up, but
There was a tie-up.
possession arrow, Eberlein Drive, so it is a jump ball, and the drive hangs onto it.
And what a fabulous job from West Virginia getting back into play. That was a 3-on-1 run out for Eberlein Drive. The pass is not really on target for Nate Watson. And they got back into play in a hurry. How about Toby Okani getting his mitts on the ball to tie that up?
You want it right there? Hold on. Hold on. I'll come.
That'll run the screener action again for Eberlein Drive.
Gabe York, Drano!
It just felt like Keedy Johnson's done such a good job getting over that screen most of the game, but you give just a sliver of airspace to Gabe York, and he cashes out.
20 points for Gabe York. Now James Reese bangs the 15-footer.
He's attacking that switch again. You get Nate Watson off balance a little bit. You pull up for that midi.
Eberlein Drive needs 6 to advance to the championship game. York. Oh, he banked it in, a 3.
I mean, are you serious? Gabe
Go to your
York.
bench. Go to your bench. Oh, we got you. We got you.
And if you're West Virginia, I mean, and Jared West Jr. is clapping and telling everybody to keep their head up because that was a heck of a defensive
That
possession.
was definitely a 3. Now,
Jared
can we see the
West
one
chasing
before that just in case?
off that dribble handoff. Man,
Yes.
Gabe York, it doesn't matter. On platform, off platform, you see Jared West chasing. Does a good job getting back in the picture. Okani goes and contests, and that's a dude that's comfortable making uncomfortable shots.
The one before that.
Now we're gonna listen to Clarence Armstrong here, reviewing this play. Was it a 3 or a 2? This was the first shot that York hit. This was ruled a 2.
Looks like a 3 to me. A little bit of space there, but I see a little beige, if you will, in between the shoe and the line.
I like your color palette.
I mean, this is what, the 4th? Almost put on the line review of the game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Previous
It's
one was
just
a 2.
rare. It's been Gabe York twice. We talk about doing a good job of as close of a three-point attempt as you can get.
If they're taking the ball out right there, just be on this side, beat them over the top.
And that's huge because, I mean, the difference between a 2 and a 3 right now is the difference between Eberlein Drive being 2 possessions away or 1 possession away from ending this
Real
thing.
close, and we don't have the greatest angle, so we did a 2, yeah. That was clearly a 3, yes. Hey, you can run the baseline here if you need it.
Clarence Armstrong with the explanation. The first Gabe York bucket stays at 2. The second one clearly a 3. York has got all 5 of Eberlein Drive's Elam ending points so far. They need 3 to win. West Virginia needs 8. Reese, too much scoop. Weatherspoon, the putback. He is fouled.
Good call, Cubs.
That's the risk you run when you switch.
Hey,
Nate Watson guarding up top has to kind of follow Reese to the basket and contest, and there's, I won't say no one, but Terrell Brown there, a little bit smaller than J.D. Weatherspoon to block out, and Weatherspoon just roots him under the basket. Tries to get the putback and finds himself shooting 2.
Brown the foul for Eberlein Drive, just his second. Now J.D. Weatherspoon had the Elam ending layup for West Virginia in the quarterfinal. But he is just 7 of 13 at the line in TBT.
Something interesting with Weatherspoon. He shoots about
one time here,
like a foot and a half behind the line. It's just
straight in here.
Really interesting mechanically.
He misses both. And
that's huge.
Eberlein Drive can end this game with a 3 and move on to the championship. Look at the difference in free throw
You got
percentage.
a number of guys willing to take that last shot.
Gabe York, one of them, and Eberlein Drive is going to the championship. Gabe York goes the distance in the Elam ending. He scores all 8 of Eberlein Drive's points. And the light stays green for Gabe York in the Drive. For the second time in Eberlein Drive's TBT history, they move on to the championship game. And it is the 20th all-time win for Eberlein Drive in this tournament.
Well, it's guys like Gabe York that win you these tournaments, willing to step up in the big moments. You saw him get it going from the free throw line in the third quarter, and man, did that pay off. It felt like every time he got the ball up, it was going in.
Take a look at the Gabe York game winner.
I mean, it's just a simple run up to the top of the key. Weatherspoon kind of loses York. The one guy in the arena that you can't lose, and he'd been talking all night. And it's really Keedy Johnson that ended up getting lost on that play. Weatherspoon makes an effort to try to recover. Gabe York just says good night.
He said good morning, good afternoon, and good night in the Elam ending. It's York's second straight Elam ending bucket. He hit the game-winning layup in the quarterfinal. And now hits the game-winning three-point shot. (85-77) the final score. And we are joined by Gabe York moments after hitting the game-winning three-point shot to move Eberlein Drive into the championship. Gabe, how you feeling right now?
I feel great. I think our staff, we put a really good team together. Give credit to West Virginia. They had a really good squad. They pushed us to our limit. We were able to make more plays down the stretch. We got a lot of vets who are hungry and want to win this thing. So, I was able to knock down shots tonight.
How about getting to the free throw line there early in the third quarter? You feel like that kind of got you into a rhythm there in the fourth?
Yeah, 100%. I think I missed my first 2 shots, and then I was able to get, I went 4 out of 5 from the free throw line in the first quarter, and then kind of same thing in the third. Was able to knock down 4 in a row, and, as a shooter, as a scorer, when you see the ball go in the basket like that, everything is just going to open up.
We really appreciate the instant reaction from the game right over to us. We want to let you join your team to put your name, advance the bracket through to the championship game. So congratulations, and we'll let you go.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Yes, Thank you.
All right, Gabe York with the finishing heroics for Eberlein Drive. He's got to take part in that TBT tradition of advancing your name on the big bracket. They've got a ladder set up on the big bracket, and I'm assuming who else could they allow to move the Eberlein Drive name through to the championship slot but Gabe York, who scores all 8 of Eberlein Drive's points in the Elam ending.
It's fitting. That big performance deserves a big bracket. That's a big bracket.
Great way to put it, Mike. And Gabe York with the finishing touches, putting Eberlein Drive into the championship game on the TBT big bracket. They went to the championship game in 2018. They lost to Overseas Elite. They will try and get the job done and win that $1 million prize. Eberlein Drive moving on to the championship game on Sunday. We'll be back to put a bow on this one from West Virginia after this. One semifinal down and one to go. Aftershocks, the Wichita State alumni team, get set to take on We Are D3 in the nightcap from Wichita, with the winner moving on to play Eberlein Drive in what is sure to be an outstanding 2025 TBT championship game. Still digesting a thrilling finish to the first semifinal between Eberlein Drive and Best Virginia, Mike LaTulip and Chris Vosters. And you'll look at the final score, 85-77 Eberlein Drive. Okay, not a terribly close game, but it was close going into the Elam ending, and then Gabe York took over.
Yeah, he did, and we just talked about it at the top. The paranoia he creates for defenses, it was on display in that Elam ending. Just the dexterity, he can get a shot off in any which way, and that just kind of freaks you out as a defense. And you just see it here. It just didn't matter who you put in front of him. You're late getting over a screen. And just all night, you overcommit on the defensive end. He stride stops and finishes. I mean, it was just routine, really. We've just seen this from Gabe York over the years and in this event in general, and this one in particular. I mean, obviously the game winner, but this one here just felt like massive in a big moment. And then the one to send him home.
And he let him know.
He's seeing red at that point, and he let him know. And just the one guy, like I said, in the arena, you did not want to get a shot off, and he did.
And he got off 3 somehow in the Elam ending alone. There he is, still basking in the glow.
As he should.
He hits his second straight Elam ending shot for Eberlein Drive, and it's his third game of 20 or more points. He finishes with 25. That's his single game high for TBT this year. This is a guy who's played in TBT semifinals before, but now he gets a crack at the $1 million prize with Eberlein Drive, who is the first team to put its name into the championship on the TBT bracket. We Are D3 and Aftershocks, that's going to be a great matchup as well. Aftershocks has become a TBT staple, the Wichita State alumni team. We Are D3 going on a run for the ages here, a group of underdogs, as their name implies, trying to continue to shock the world and earn a date against Eberlein Drive, which has been, no pun intended, in the driver's seat, Mike, all tournament long. This was a team that has looked good on paper, and I tell you what, they've now can say now on 2 separate occasions that they know how to handle a little bit of adversity. This game was close. Best Virginia put up a heck of a fight. They shot over 50% from the floor. Another preview of what's coming up in Wichita. The Aftershocks with that 16-8 all-time record in TBT, but they've never been to the TBT final. Chance to get there. We will get out to Wichita at the top of the hour. But for Eberlein Drive, again, continuing to show why we think they are and have been the best team in the tournament.
Yeah, you and I were there for their first round game in Lexington, and we thought then that this was potentially one of the most complete teams on paper in the entire field. And I think they've just proven that throughout these 5 games. And now I think you just you got to think that no matter what the result is in Wichita, they're probably the favorite. And look, on paper is great, but you got to come out in here and prove it. And we saw them at practice this morning, how organized they are. You know, Bryce Taylor getting them all organized. It's just a team that clearly has championship DNA and clearly has a championship on their mind. They're going to get a shot to do that.
And you look at the numbers for Eberlein Drive, and you feel like they're this great shooting team. They didn't even shoot 44% from the field in this game, but it's the timing of their shots. They know when to hit big shots.
Oh, they're always ready for the moment. They're unflappable. So even when you have a big run from Best Virginia, it's bang, bang. It's York 3, and then a putback from Rutherford, and then Pedro Bradshaw gets going all the way down the line, and 37% from 3 again tonight. And you look at it, no one's shooting 50% or more on this team. It's just all of them are in that high 30s range, and they're just so consistent, and that is a great recipe if you want to advance in this tournament.
And Gabe York is going to get all the headlines with a 25-point performance, but there is an outstanding cast of characters, many of whom stepped up in big ways throughout this game. A Pedro Bradshaw, a Tommy Rutherford, a Ryan Brown, an A.J. Slaughter. This is a very deep team that is going to be a tough out in the championship game no matter who they face. And vying for the right to hang a banner right next to Jared Sullinger and Carmen's crew. Well, this has been a fun ride, and it will continue for Eberlein Drive. They await the winner of We Are D3 and Aftershocks in the TBT Championship game on Sunday. For Mike LaTulip and our wonderful Tupelo Honey production crew, led by our producer, Braden Pretch, I'm Chris Foster saying so long from Charleston. We will get you out to Wichita for the second TBT semifinal.
So often in this, you get doubted. Getting so close and failing, I think, only made us hungrier.
I think everybody's still thinking that we're underdog fluke.
Nichols, D3 has done it!
Just to have the chance to silence another crowd on your home court and, beat another great team. This is our championship game. We can't look ahead.
The other team, they feel it. They feel these fans.
Walking each trap, take over your trap. The 2 games away from a million is not more motivation.